It's Taz from Giglist. You're listening to Bodie on 107.3 HFM.
Hello, it is Bodie this afternoon, 25 to 1. A gentleman who is working class. He is just Mr. Giglist, as I call him, from Giglist, giglist.com.au, gigs analyst. Taz, he joins me now with a preview of what's going on this week. Hello, good man, how are we?
Hi, Bodie. I'm good, thanks. How are you doing?
I am very well now. I've just had a quick sneak peek at the gigs for this week. We say it all the time, it is an absolutely stacked lineup, including one that's caught my eye for Thursday. But what have you got on your list for this week?
Yeah, interesting. I'm curious to know what it is that's caught your eye for Thursday. You're right. Like, literally, we do say it every week. Like, Giglist has got so much stuff cranking on it, which is fantastic to see. I know at one point Giglist, in a quieter period, was still receiving sort of a couple of thousand users per week. So it's a pretty active platform, which is great. And now that the weather is getting better, I'm noticing, as you know, I've been with Giglist just this year now. I'm noticing now the weather's getting better, that the Giglist is getting more massive. So like this Friday night is just huge. There's so much on Friday night. It's really difficult for me to make my picks. But yeah, I've definitely made some. So let's get on with it. So tonight.
What have you got?
So for Tuesday night tonight, as there is so much going on this week, I just thought I'd throw a shout out tonight to there's a few regular kind of events that are on Tuesday nights at certain venues, and they are going ahead tonight. So just a shout out to the Ellington Jazz Club, who has got a show on tonight at 6. The Milk Bar at the Civic Hotel, where the Jazz Club of WA does their thing every Tuesday night at 7:30 p.m. So that's tonight. And the Perth Blues Club at the Charles Hotel at 7:30 p.m. every Tuesday as well. So those regular shows are every Tuesday, and they are going ahead tonight with a bunch of artists. So jazz, blues, an awesome jazz club at the Ellington. You've always got that to pick from on Tuesday, which is great. But jumping forward to Wednesday, so tomorrow night, we have a bit of a big tour coming through. Hitting the RAC Arena, we have The Cause, Natalie Imbruglia, Tony Childs, and Jermaine.
That sounds pretty cool.
Bit of a throwback to, for me personally, you know, my youth, the late 90s, early 2000s, The Cause and Natalie Imbruglia. So that's a pretty massive lineup, right? So that's Wednesday night at the RAC Arena, 6 p.m.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
For the sort of gig goers who aren't overly interested in those vibes, the Rosemount Hotel on Wednesday night has also got a pretty cool show lined up. We have Aquila doing a tribute night. They're doing a tribute of Muse, so the music of Muse. So I'm a huge Muse fan, so that should be interesting. So the Rosemount Hotel Wednesday night at 6 p.m. So
that sounds pretty cool.
Couple things to choose from. Yeah, I think they'll both be great nights. So Perth is rocking Wednesday, which is cool to see. Thursday, convenient that you've got something that's caught your eye, because I'd only made one pick myself for Thursday. So I'm curious to hear what your pick is.
We love local acts and local artists, but we also love to let people know the touring big acts that are coming through Perth. And I am a massive fan of this man, both solo and his time with InXS and Noiseworks. I'm talking John Stevens. How cool.
John Stevens, yeah, nice. I was hoping you might mention, Mr. Stevens. So, right, isn't it great? Like, we have got so much local stuff happening. We've also got a fair few touring artists coming through town, which, you know, being the most isolated capital city in the world, supposedly, it's cool to see they're still making an effort to come this way. I also wanted to throw a bit of a shout out to a local artist, technically, but this is a different one. So we've also got Thursday night Lucky Oceans Band featuring Troy Roberts at the Duke of George in East Fremantle at 7 p.m. So Troy Roberts and Lucky Oceans. Are you familiar with either of those names?
I'm not. Tell me more.
Between the two of them, they've got 10 Grammy nominations, 2 Grammy Awards.
The lazy 10?
Yeah, no big deal, you know. Lucky is actually here in Perth, but he is a United States citizen. So he moved from the USA to Perth a while back, and has actually been a bit of a radio personality for, I think, something like 21 years or something for a while there. He's not anymore. Well known in certain circles, and Troy was actually a Perth musician who did the opposite and moved to New York City. So they've both kind of swapped spots, but they've come together. So Troy Roberts and Lucky Oceans are playing a show together here in Perth 7 p.m. Duke of George, the Lucky Oceans Band featuring Troy Roberts. So I think that'll be pretty cool as well.
Yeah, totally.
So jumping forward to Friday, I wanted to mention Mandurah Country Music Festival kicks off. So at Rushton Park in Mandurah, Friday night, 5:30 p.m. The Country Music Festival is going over a couple of days, but it kicks off on Friday. So we've got a pretty massive lineup. I'll mention a few of the names. So on the Friday show, we have Kate Hindle, Cactus Rose, Chad Hewitt, and Johnny Reed. So that's 5:30 p.m. Rushton Park, Mandurah. So a good bit of music down for the Mandurah locals down that way, which is a beautiful area.
For sure.
Sort of heading out east from Perth, we've got out in Kalamunda, which is used to be my old stomping grounds. There's a performing arts centre in Kalamunda, the Kalamunda Performing Arts Centre, funnily enough. Real beautiful little venue, real great sound, very nice location as well. It's near the Kalamunda Senior High School, actually. So at 6 p.m, the Kalamunda Performing Arts Centre on Friday night is putting on a bit of a show, actually. This one's pretty massive. So there's a whole bunch of artists, some local artists. Specifically, we've got the Kalamunda Youth Swing Junior Band, the Kalamunda Sing Choir, so a whole bunch of local initiatives there. We've got the Michael Ward Trio, Matt Cow, Liquid Hearts, Burnt Pearl. Pretty big lineup. There's a few more there as well, so jump on Giglist if you want more details. But Kalamunda Performing Arts Centre, that big show kicks off at 6 p.m, showcasing some local talent. And it's a fantastic location and venue. So you've got Mandurah down south, or we've got Kalamunda out in the hills. So maybe Friday night's a good night for getting away from the city. Alternatively,
Yeah, go on.
I was going to say, alternatively, we have actually also got some action in the city, no doubt, at the Astor Theatre. So the Astor Theatre has another big tour coming through. Kicking off at 7:45 p.m, we have the Whitlams.
I was just about to mention that. That's another band that were massive. They've quietened up a bit, but they are back.
Right. It's like the 90s, early noughties is really kind of resurfacing at the moment, which is pretty cool to see. We've got the Cause, Natalie and Brulia. Now we've got the Whitlams. And the Whitlams are actually doing 2 nights, consecutive nights. They're also doing a Saturday gig. So jump on Giglist again if you want to catch them on Saturday. But Friday night, they're at Astor Theatre, Mount Lawley, kicking off at 7:45 p.m. But Friday night,
awesome.
Yeah, it's cool to see, isn't it? It's cool to see these bands still doing well, 20 years later being able to tour. But yeah, Friday night, those are my 3 picks. You've got Mandurah, Kalamunda and Astor Theatre, but really Friday night is hugely booked up. So jump on Giglist and have a look. I've just pulled up Giglist right now, and just to rattle off another name, we've got blues legend Fidelli. He's playing Fremantle Friday night, so heaps to choose from. Jump on and have a look.
Giglist.com.au is the place to go. Yeah, moving forward.
Moving forward to Saturday, so the Mandurah Country Music Festival continues on Saturday. This would be a good one. Saturday, the Country Music Festival continues at midday. So Rushton Park, Mandurah, the Country Music Festival kicks off at 12:30 p.m. So we've got a few more artists from Adam Brand, Becky Cole, Shannon Knoll, Knowlesy, Catherine Britt, James Blundell, Amber Lawrence, Scarlett's Way. Scarlett's Way are a decent act as well, in my opinion.
Now, I'm going to throw a bit of a musical quiz question your way.
Oh,
you
okay.
Adam Brand.
Here we go.
Right?
Yep.
Yep. Yes or no? See how well you know your music. Is he a West Australian?
Adam Brand. I know he's an Australian singer. He's an Australian country singer. I'm not sure. I don't know. You've got me. Country is one of my weak spots, so I've got to admit, you've discovered. So, is he a Western Australian? I know he's Australian.
Well, I'm going to let you continue, and just before I let you go, I'll give you the answer. Just to get you
the suspense.
On tender hooks.
Yep.
Or do you want it now?
No, we'll wait to the end. I like that idea. That sounds good. So, Adam Brand, the Australian country singer, whether or not he's a local, yet to find out. Cool. So, moving forward with Saturday, so we've got 3 p.m. It's kicking off at 3 p.m. in North Fremantle at the Railway Hotel. At the Port Beach Garden Bar, we have a massive afternoon of basically 90s tribute bands. 90s and early noughties again. So this is a bit of a heavier show. We have tribute bands doing Tool, System of a Down, Korn, Alice in Chains, Metallica, Deftones, Limp Bizkit, and Tenacious D. So that's a massive one. Now, Saturday, we're getting pretty close to Halloween now. So Saturday, we're seeing some sort of Halloween-themed events kicking off. So this is actually 3 p.m. at the Port Beach Garden Bar. This is actually a Halloween event. Freaks on the Beach, they've called it. So that would be a pretty awesome way to get you into your Halloween get-up and go be amongst a bunch of fellow sort of rockers. Perfect music for Halloween, I think. But we've also got later in the night at 7:30 p.m. we actually have... Now, Perth has a monthly metal show called Hornography. And Hornography is doing Saturday night a Halloween show. So we've got the Halloween Hornography, which is our monthly metal festival here in Perth, metal show.
Yep.
This Saturday we have All This Filth, Grimoire, Calvath, and Lamentia. So that'll be at Linnets Lounge, Northbridge at 7:30 p.m. So that's the Halloween Hornography. They're doing prizes for costumes and dress-ups. So if you feel like catching some metal, definitely get done up in your spookiest outfit and head along to there. Just a quick mention, we've also got Indian Ocean Hotel in Scarborough. Saturday night we've got Gyroscope. They've got the Pretty Uglies, the Deenies, and Bush Telly. So bit of high energy over in Scarborough as well. And then it looks like we're running out of time, so quickly jumping forward to Sunday, I wanted to mention the Black Swan Winery, has Neil Adams at 1 p.m. So Black Swan Winery in Henley Brook, so absolutely beautiful setting for a Sunday.
Yeah.
We have Neil Adams on at 1 p.m. So Neil, also, I have seen his name on Gig List quite a lot, so I wanted to give a shout out to Neil. He's been working hard. He's an acoustic sort of solo singer. He does a mixture of covers, some originals. So Neil Adams at the Black Swan Winery, 1 p.m. Sunday. That'd be fantastic. And finally, we have Jasmine Ganaway. Jasmine is the front woman of local band Moth Street Artists. And Jasmine's doing a solo gig this Sunday at the Craigie Tavern in Craigie at 3 o'clock p.m. Jasmine is an incredible singer. The vocals on Jasmine are just mind-blowing. So if you want to catch an artist who's guaranteed to give you goosebumps and to hear some powerhouse vocals, Jasmine at the Craigie Tavern, 3 p.m. Sunday. And that about wraps it up.
Yeah, the place to go if you want to check out exactly what Taz and I have been talking about, or to find out any gigs, live and local gigs, or just live music gigs in Perth, giglist.com.au is the place to go. Now, do you have your quiz hat on?
Adam Brand, I am awaiting. So he's an Australian country singer playing this Saturday, Mandurah Country Music Festival. Is he a WA? You know, I'm suspecting he is. I'm going to go with yes, he's a Perth local. That's my guess.
He's based in Brisbane, born 27th of January 1970. I'm just drawing out a bit more because I can. Adam Brand was born in Perth, Western Australia. So yes, he is.
So he's Perth born, but he's moved to Brisbane.
Another one that has made the trek over east and still doing massive things, which is awesome.
And he's coming back to play for us Mandurah Saturday, so that's good to see. Good to see he's not forgetting his roots.
Exactly. So if you want to check out any of the action we've just spoken about, giglist.com.au, Taz from Giglist, you are a gem of a sir and a gentleman. So we will chat if the contracts are renewed. Next week, sir.
Well, now that we're dropping fun facts and a bit of education, I think I might need to revisit that pay rate. No. Yep, next week sounds good.
Are you still on bottles of water, or have you graduated to Coke?
Actually on coffee at the moment, so it's a bit of a midway point, I think. You know, it's technically water, but it's got a bit of caffeine in it. So.
True. Well, next time you come into the studio, I will make you a coffee. There you go.
Sounds good. Sounds great.
You are.
Thank you, Bodie.
You're welcome, Taz. No worries, Taz from giglist.com.au, gigs and list. He and I will be chatting next week right here, 107.3 HFM.